In November 2001, economist Jim O'Neill of Goldman Sachs, the world's largest investment bank, gave an economic forecast for the next decade in a report. The report of these British economists was later taken very seriously by politicians and economists all over the world. In the next 10 years, 4 emerging countries, China, India, Brazil and Russia, are going to be important in the world economy, O'Neill said in an article titled Building Better Global Economy. O'Neill coined the term BRIC or BRICS from the first letters of the English spelling of these countries. O'Neill's BRIC, South Africa's S, has been added, and now an organization called BRICS is one of the hot topics in the world. After the birth of BRICS in 2009, South Africa joined it in 2010. The main objective of the BRICS, which is made up of these 5 countries, is to take the developing world to the leading position in the world economy, bypassing the developed world system. As the BRICS age draws to a close, many are equating their predictions with successes and failures. O'Neill, nicknamed Mr. BRIC, said in a 2016 interview with CNBC that his predictions may have been half as successful. 2 of the 4 countries have made great strides in the last decade and a half, China and India. Brazil and Russia, on the other hand, are plagued by economic and political problems. O'Neill said China's economic growth will average 6% by 2011, which is much higher than later. And not only that, it continued after 2011. And in 2017, seeing India's growth above 6%, O'Neill is smiling. O'Neill predicted that the 4 countries would not be a country-made organization. What is the present and future of this organization? O'Neill is not talking about South Africa after BRIC to BRICS. So what is the future of South Africa in BRICS? Recently, Samir Saran, vice president of the Delhi-based Observer Research Foundation, wrote an opinion on the BRICS at the World Economic Forum on the sidelines of the Indian Economic Summit. He said BRICS has done a lot, especially in boosting trade between its 5 member countries, as well as accelerating economic growth in the countries through the New Development Bank, NDB, and the Contingency Reserve Arrangement. But since the 5 countries have 5 different political goals, its success has been limited. Countries have been able to at least bring some of their goals together, which is a pretty good achievement, although that success has been limited to the political leadership. It goes without saying that its excitement did not spread among the people. Citing an example of a lack of public participation, the Russian news agency Sputnik reported that the nationalist economic policies of China and India had hindered the development of the BRICS. Sputnik, a new entrepreneur in Russia's IT sector, noted that they are looking for markets in China, India and Brazil, in addition to the Western developed countries. The huge population of these countries is a lucrative opportunity for Russian entrepreneurs to expand their business. However, the important thing here is that there is no name of South Africa as an important market. In other words, even though it is part of BRICS, South Africa is actually inside and outside. Danny Bradlaugh, a professor at the University of Pretoria in South Africa, did not find much in the way of describing the position of South Africa in BRICS. In an article in The Conversation, he said that the organization has not been able to bring developing countries to the forefront of economic leadership in the world. The G7, a group of the world's most developed nations, is followed by the G20, which includes the BRICS countries. But the BRICS leaders did not see the interest of BRICS in that forum. Those who have more economic power there have spoken out loud. Many changes have been made in the rights of IMF and World Bank member countries. In that case, China, India and Brazil have benefited. Professor Bradlaugh says South Africa got nothing there. He questioned the purpose of the BRICS, saying how the BRICS would implement its purpose. No one has anything to say about that. There is a considerable lack of transparency here. But have China, India and Brazil really benefited? Samir Saran, however, says in his article that the Doklam issue in the foothills of the Himalayas raises the question of the possibility of a political settlement between India and China. He goes on to say that with the birth of another company called BRICS Plus, China is in fact singing the praises of One Belt, One Road, which is not going well with India. He also mentioned the lack of democratic consciousness among BRICS member states. Not all countries have equal rights there. In other words, there is no reason to think that Indians are too happy with BRICS. How much the BRICS has done to save the troubled economies of Brazil and Russia could be discussed. However, it is well known that the BRICS failed to resolve the political and economic problems of the two countries. South Africa is also not included in the other 4 countries of the organization. As the national policy of each country is different, it has prevented their people from enjoying the benefits of economic cooperation. Again, India has been sitting at the same table with its geopolitical rival China and has conducted economic transactions quite carefully. The country's own national interests did not go hand in hand with the geopolitical interests of the BRICS. Or it could be that the BRICS, which has no geopolitical interests of its own, apart from the conflicting geopolitical interests of the 5 countries. Where will the BRICS go in the next decade? The economic cooperation of the BRICS may not stop, but its purpose and success will be limited. Jim O'Neill could be half as successful as that.